we got a common enemy in these capitalists that's taking control of our assets and colonizing what we're doing. As far as rap music, as far as our continent we came from.
Rapper Nipsey Hussle was murdered outside of his Marathon store in LA over the weekend. And look, this is something that I want to talk about because my focus is usually on politics and politicians and policy, but we should also really be discussing culture and cultural icons and what we should expect out of our cultural icons. So oftentimes when you think about cultural icons, you think of someone who has a lot of money, that made a lot of money off of their art, whether it's in music or movies or whatever. But we don't think about what they do with that success. So we need to be more aware of that and put people up on platforms that deserve to be there, that are actually investing into their communities, that do actually understand the issues with our institutions and are calling out whatever their issue is, and their ability to put light on those issues. We should be discussing the people that are doing that are outside of politics, because being able to combine both the culture and the politics and have these two movements work together, work in tandem to lift all of us up, is really the way that we're going to get out of the crappy situation that a lot of us are in. So I want to share a lot about Nipsey Hussle because this is somebody who did this. He invested into his community. He didn't use his success to, just buy a giant mansion and buy lots of cars and nice chains. He used his success to lift others up. So first, I want to share this clip from 2006 where he's talking with Hard Knock TV.
So talk a little bit about yourself, man. What brings you up here, up and coming, and how come you're not blinging and having all kind of crazy diamonds and all that? I guess you here to get your money right, huh?
All the time. I mean, all that is cool for the image and all that, but all them is liabilities, you feel me? I'd rather invest in some real estate, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, can you repeat that again, man? You're up and coming artist. What did you say you want to do?
I say invest in some assets as opposed to trick off my money on some liabilities like diamonds, you know what I'm saying? Cars that lose value as soon as you drive them off the lot.
So you're trying to get land.
Exactly, homie. A real asset. Take care of my peoples, cause it look good, but at the end of the day, you losing value, homie. It ain't appreciating. It's depreciating. It's losing value.
What do you think? Why do you think it's so hard for people to get that message? One half you get guys that say they got to impress the females. Female ain't trying to talk to you unless you blinged out. On the other hand, you got other people feel like they got to show off to the homies and impress them with their riches. I mean, what do you think is how do we get that out of that mindset?
I mean, I feel like that's insecurity. Material things ain't nothing, you feel me? At the end of the day, it's who you is, You wasn't born with it, you gonna die without it. So if you feel you need some diamonds or some jewelry to get at a female, it's because you feel you lack something within yourself, you know what I mean? So all that, as far as that angle, it's like I feel that's insecurity.
LA right now has been experiencing a lot of black and brown stuff, a little violence going on there. What would you say to that? And somebody in your neighborhood coming from where you at, what message do you give so people can maybe see things in a different light?
I mean, I feel like, we got a common enemy, you know what I'm saying? So I don't feel we got time to be beefing. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. That's divide and conquer, you know what I'm saying? That's Willie Lynch, you know what I mean? We got a common enemy in these capitalists that's taking control of our assets and colonizing what we're doing. As far as rap music, as far as our continent we came from, our culture and all that, like, we got a common enemy. So we ain't got time to have issues amongst ourselves. The same as well as a black on black.
So here you have Nipsey Hussle, 2006, so he's about 2021, calling out materialism, talking about saving money to actually invest into real estate, talking about or calling out the capitalists. This is a young guy who already at this time understood how the system worked. And because he understood that and understood the barriers that other people in his community faced, he then took steps to address that and help others out. So let me share this piece from Complex. Over the last half decade, he graduated from a young LA street rap legend to an internationally celebrated innovator regularly lauded in the pages of Forbes. If he could cogently break down how to leverage influence and cultural capital into tangible value like a tech CFO, his actions radically diverged from the waves of gentrification-frenzied vultures destroying major American cities. Nipsey could have easily purchased a house in Calabasas and invested his money in faceless hedge funds, but instead, he single-mindedly focused on rebuilding Crenshaw. Now, let me share some of the many ways that he did invest into his community. So, One example is Nipsey Hussle's STEM program that aimed to bridge a gap between the inner city and Silicon Valley. But there are so many more. So let me share this clip from, I'm not sure what newscast it was, but this was a newscast covering Nipsey Hussle and all that he was doing in his community.
To sell his unsigned mixtapes out of the trunk of his car. Now, you actually own half of this lot.
Yeah, me and my family, Black Sam, Adam, my pops, the whole team.
He also owns Marathon Clothing Store, which not only sells his label, but lets his visitors use an app to enhance their shopping experience.
We playing a long game. We don't want the money to stop when we go. When we can't work no more, we want it to outlive us. We want it to be generational.
And next door, a basic needs shop. They sell everything from prepaid cell phones to fragrances. And at both stores, Nipsey hired local artists.
It's Tanny.
Hi, Tanny. I'm Leah.
Partners and up-and-coming artists.
Okay. By the end of this year, Nipsey will also open a barber shop.
And so we gonna call this Steve's, and it's named after my homeboy Fats. You know what I mean? This is a tattoo of him right here. He was murdered last year.
And a Creole seafood restaurant.
And everything. All the equipment was brand new.
All of these businesses are family-owned and operated. Nipsey says businesses are only part of the change. For true change, he's starting with kids at 54th Street Elementary, an area plagued by violence.
Yeah, I think it's just about offering a new identity, Like it is, it's not weak to be strong. It ain't weak to make smart moves.
He hired a local artist to help spruce up this basketball court.
And I see in the inside, it's got safety, respect, friendship, kindness, community, principles. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is somebody who cared. He worked to build intergenerational wealth, whether that's wealth of knowledge or wealth in terms of money and assets. He invested into his community, whether it was education or business, and worked to help others and lift everybody up. Again, this is something that a lot of us don't even really consider because we come from communities or families that were already well off, we're already fine. So in my case, I didn't have to deal with, because I'm white and my family has been white, we never had to deal with housing discrimination. So one of the easiest or one of the only ways for middle class families to build wealth is through buying a house, is through property, because property rises in value. But if you were discriminated against, as black people were for decades when it comes to housing, well, you're on a different starting point than the rest of us are. So if you are faced with a situation where you were born into a family that has not accumulated this intergenerational wealth because they were discriminated against, they weren't able to buy a house, or they weren't able to get a loan because of banking discrimination as well. There are all these different forms of discrimination that a lot of us aren't even aware of, aren't even aware existed, and is the reason, the basis for why this sort of wealth is lacking in a lot of these communities. So when you have someone like Nipsey Hussle not only discuss that, but then work to actually do something about it, again, these are the kind of cultural icons that we should be looking up to. Now, on the discrimination front, since I want to mention this briefly, Donald Trump, of course, has made everything worse, including when it comes to discrimination. So check out this piece from Lending Tree. In May, for example, President Trump signed into law a bipartisan plan to roll back Obama-era Dodd-Frank rules, actually making it easier for banks to discriminate against minority and marginalized communities when lending. So Trump's negative impact hasn't just been on culture in terms of, hate crimes rising, but also on the actual institutions. So he has made it even harder for people of color to be able to get a loan, for example, through his steps in deregulation. Now, another clip here I want to share is Nipsey Hussle discussing food deserts. So I mentioned food deserts briefly in a video last week just by chance, and this is another area that Nipsey Hussle worked to address. So check out this clip.
Most places, especially in our community, they don't give you the option of eating healthy. Right. So why was that important to you, to incorporate that into the community?
I grew up on hamburgers and
pastrami fries and chili fries and just, you know, regular stuff we grew up on, barbecue, Woody's, Hungry Heroes. We came into a different era getting information.
Yeah.
You know, you learn about all these things that's going on with the food.
This food.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
it make it a little harder to just not be conscious of it. And then when you start seeing what the other options are, it's nothing around here. For people that ain't got a car, young dudes that ain't driving yet, women, young girls that ain't driving yet, you know, it should be something close that you can pull up to. So next door from here, we just got the fish market.
Okay.
And so we about to turn that into a little bit more healthy approach to, you know, fish.
Okay.
So they're gonna have some grilled stuff, some rice and vegetables and stuff.
If it wasn't for Nipsey, we wouldn't have nothing around here. For real, all we need is black people that really stick together and make things happen out here in the community. We don't got too many people that want to donate to the community when they get famous. They just think about themselves.
So that clip was courtesy of Revolt TV, and again, showcasing just another area that Nipsey Hussle was engaged in and working to address in his own community. Now, I want to end on two different clips here, but before I do, there's a link below the video to a 10-minute documentary on Nipsey Hussle. It gives you a quick backstory of his and also features a song of his. So if you want to learn more and hear his music, check it out. And I'm going to end on here two clips. One is a member of his community talking about how much Nipsey Hussle was loved, and also a quick clip of fans in the community paying tribute to him outside his marathon store.
Bringing up gang and he's gang, no. What he was the opposite. He turned it around. We come from a poverty area where this is what was given to us. Nipsey took what was given to us in liquor stores and drugs and the things that we have in our community that our community zoned for, and he changed it around. And he did that through bringing employment. He brought that through buying businesses and expanding to become entrepreneurship. We love Nipsey. The community loves Nipsey. We're asking once again for all interventionists.